Good morning, Snipes Academy. It is Friday, August 13th. I'm Mr. Yates, and this is Snipes Daily News. All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you've had a good full week of school. And if you haven't noticed, this is this little guy right here. This is my son, Jay. Jay, say hi.
Hey.
Yeah. So he's not feeling a little well today, so I'm taking the first half of the day off, and my wife is taking the second half of the day off. So you will see me in the building sometime today. But right now, I'm at home with Jay, which is why this recording is coming from here. So let's get into it with some weather. So right now, it's about 75 degrees outside and pretty humid. We should have a pretty clear day for most of the day. It might rain in the afternoon, and we have a high of 90 degrees today. Today, for this day in history, we're going to talk about the Berlin Wall. So on this day in history, in 1961, East Germany and West Germany were suddenly divided when overnight a chain link and barbed wire fence appeared on the border between East Germany and West Germany. This wall would later take two different iterations, becoming a 6-foot concrete wall. And then they would later add 4 more feet after people kept trying to escape, making the eventual wall around 10 feet of barbed wire, concrete, and guarded by machine guns and soldiers and tanks and everything. After World War II, when Germany lost, all of Germany was broken up into 4 areas that would be governed by the Axis powers, which were the Soviet, the British, the American, and the French. All these were broken up into those zones. That Soviet bit is where we start to have a problem, though. Because while the French, American, and British sections were governed by, democratic republics or, basically free areas, the Soviet quarter was, controlled by the Soviets, who were communists. And in case you were wondering, communism is a form of political Marxism that is advocating class war and leads to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. That's where the phrase, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs, comes from. So imagine a society where, you work super hard and have to give everything to someone else who's not working. And then also you don't have any real rights or freedom. No religion. That's the situation that was in East Germany. That is the kind of thing you get from Marxism and communism, the kind of thing that was happening in East Germany, governed by the Soviets. Obviously, no one wants to live in that situation, and because it was split up into 4 unguarded, piece parcels of land in Germany, they basically just started leaving. Everyone was leaving East Germany because nobody wants to live under that kind of Marxist tyranny. That's also why today people are leaving en masse places like Cuba, Venezuela, and China. Obviously, the Soviets didn't like this because anyone with ability was leaving, and that left no one to force to work. So they built this wall. The crux of the whole place was in Berlin, and so that's when they put up this 91-mile wall, keeping people from leaving. We'll actually talk a little bit more about this in November, when we'll talk about when the Berlin Wall came down in 1989. For today's quote of the day, I thought it would be apropos to talk about a quote from Mao Zedong, who was a communist leader of China. About communism, Mao Zedong said this: "Communism is not love. Communism is a hammer which we use to crush the enemy." That reminds me of something that my dad usually says, which is, when someone tells you who they are, you should believe them. By this he means, if they tell you that communism is not this great utopian love society, that it's actually just a system to crush your enemies, you should probably take them at their word. Now let's move on to some birthdays. Now, unfortunately, today we don't have any birthdays, and we don't have any birthdays coming up this weekend. So I will leave you there and say that I hope you all have a great day. Work super hard, have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. This is Snipes Daily News.